welcome. I'm so excited to get into today's video. As we're going to get into is a restaurant build that was kind of themed off of McDonald's, but ended up being Plum-Donald's. So I would love to hear your guys' opinions, but without further ado, let's get into the video. So for this build and how this idea came to fruition was because I knew I wanted a fast food restaurant for this gameplay that I'm planning in the background, which I'm very excited to announce, and I'm hoping people will like it. I definitely want to be gameplay focused, but with these builds, like I always mention, it helps me build my confidence with it, but also so I can learn as we build more and get more creative with it. But this one specifically was for the gameplay that I have and the idea. I kind of just wanted a spot where they can quickly get food, but also have a park next door, which you guys will see. The only thing that I'm still up in the air about is because the park ended up being so nice, is that if this ends up being like more of a rundown area, I might want to add like junk cars, holes in the wall, but right now it's kind of this nice clean look. So if you guys want to add this and you have a family or you want a family oriented build, I definitely recommend this. It's still a fast food restaurant, but it has like the nice park and the design is honestly really nice. And I had fun building this. The few of the things that kind of, wasn't great is that the build ended up being really small since it is a plumb bob. Make it any bigger, it's kind of a wonky, but I'm glad we made it smaller. It doesn't need to be too big or fancy. It can just be like kind of like this corner store feel type of fast food restaurant, nothing too extravagant. Obviously, we have to have like the waiter's table and whatnot since it is in The Sims 4, and that's how restaurants work, unfortunately. But I think we did pretty well. I do love the look. The theme honestly made it a lot more fun because I had to dig up a lot of plumb bob items and trying to plant them everywhere, and it was a lot of fun, honestly. And with the shape and then the color schemes of green throughout the build, I absolutely enjoyed, and I would love to hear his opinions on that. I mean, especially since we found the plumb bob fan, we got all the plumb bob images, not only on the walls but in the windows for people to see. And yeah, so as for the idea is I wanted it to just be like somewhere quick, short, so I feel like the tininess of it is still not an issue, like I was mentioning. And for the layout on the inside, I just kind of wanted a few seating. I didn't want it to be too crammed, because the issue with the plumb bob shape is trying to figure out where to lay seats down and configure them to where Sims can sit, where it's also not too jam-packed. Where you guys can see, I accompanied them with the windows, but there's like a big open like walkway, so I tried to add a couple extra seating in there. Not that we needed them, I just didn't want this build to feel so empty. Like, it is a fast food spot, so I feel like I don't know, wouldn't they want extra seating or maximize it? But I also wanted the space in case, like, for the line, if the line does get pretty long. I don't know how popular this restaurant is. We did playtest it live. This was made live on my Twitch account, which if you guys ever want to join us, those are always linked down below for you guys. Especially to hear your guys' opinions, because I need all the tips and advice we can get. I did try to do, as you guys can see, the little countertops, just because I thought maybe like bar stools or a spot to sit would be really nice. They did a little wonkies, if I remember correctly, and we end up taking those out. We'll have to find out eventually, but I'm pretty sure those go away. And we just keep those same tables. I know we add a couple more within it, but yeah, I would love to hear what your thoughts are. Like, have you built a restaurant before? I always like to hear what you guys have done, especially. And I think my favorite part about the build though is just the sense of making it a plumb bob, but also landscaping wise, I love landscaping, and I can't wait to show you guys the park part of this build, because the park itself was my favorite. It really looks really nice, and I kind of want to do like a big extravagant park eventually. But moving on back into the inside, you guys can see we got like a little menu wall, which I kind of want to get some CC menus, I'm not gonna lie. Let me know what if you guys have a certain item in the game itself that you use for menus. I kind of just use those fishing ones and whatnot. We have those funky signs, and I just want this place to look like it's been used a lot, like Sims enter this place. I think if I ever want to do another build, I want to do a boba tea shop similar to the boba tea shops to where I live, and they have like the little gaming spots you can do. Like, I'm not sure if my boba tea shop is local based, so I'm not gonna say which one, but I know they have like different games you can play, and they got different images on the wall, and you could see like, I don't know, the character and whatnot within the build. And I would love to build, I mean, that, and if you watch me live, you guys know how obsessed I am with boba tea, so I would like more boba tea builds. But this one, in this world at least that I'm building, doesn't have one per se quite yet, because it's not, I'm not really focused more on the young youth or like young adult type of locations like I usually am for my builds. This world that I am creating is more focused on the older generation, not I feel like that's the best way to group it. Like, we have a lot of clubs that I want to put in. I did build a church, but unfortunately I did not get the recording for that one, so I won't be able to show that. I'll have to double check, but we did build a church. Not that I thought anybody would be excited to see how a church was built, but it's more for the storyline that we got going on to the gameplay, which I hope I'm not spoiling too much. I'm just so excited, and like I said, I've been planning so much into it. And if you guys do like story gameplay and whatnot, definitely check out. I got a couple series going on, and I feel like I'm always gonna have a couple going on for The Sims 4. But moving back into the kitchen, as you guys can see, I'm trying to add like clutter items, which I'm excited that I'm like getting more used to debug and just the different items, and that we review like the packs and whatnot. I do that for you guys here on YouTube, because I feel like I'm getting more familiar. Because the issue with this build, I was just like, what can we put on these counters that makes sense for a restaurant? I ended up just using the plates, the plastic cups and whatnot, because they come in green, and I was like, plumb bob thing. Maybe they're, I don't know, a nicer restaurant and they give you plates, or maybe their plates are the trays. Like, it'd be kind of cool to have plumb bob shaped trays, but you know, they're round. Just dream with me, guys. Dream with me. You can see it. We're living it. We're loving it. And I'm just trying to throw in a washing machine, which I don't really do in my builds a lot, and I think I should. Honestly, am I the only one who forgets we have washing machines in The Sims? And because your Sims technically doesn't need it, and I kind of pick up after my Sims so often that I kind of want to start throwing them in my builds now. And I think this build made me realize that, because I was like, obviously it's a restaurant, they're not going to want to hand wash any dish, they're just going to throw it in there. But I guess, I've never worked at a fast food restaurant. Like, do they have dishwashing machines? Does anybody know that's watching this? Because if so, I'm genuinely curious now. The realism, I need the realism. No, I'm kidding. But I am curious. But I did throw about a couple of those fridges back there. I think that's the spa day fridges, because I thought that they made the most sense. Like, maybe they're grabbing the drinks out of them and whatnot. So I think that's about it. We'll get like a final tour. Like I said, it's not that big of a build. But for the exterior, as for like different signage that I wanted to add, we got like the giant plum image, which is just a painting that I like sized up and shaped another sign around to make it look like it's a sign. I want to see when we do another like tour real quickly, because I think it looks really nice. I like the idea and the usage of a signage, because I know some builders, they can make like CC, and I seriously want to learn. But considering we use in-game items, they make their own CC. Sorry, I was like, wait, did that make any sense? But either way, what I'm trying to say is I want to eventually make my own, but considering the fact that I didn't and I used in-game items, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty impressed with myself. I think the only thing is that when you look in the back of it, you can kind of see the hook of where it's supposed to be hung up at, which is why I threw the trees behind there. But just for a few final details for landscaping, obviously adding the dirt. We have like little bits of grass in there, which I absolutely love throwing in grass and whatnot. We got the different planters, which I'm trying to get better at, because I feel like planters with like just sparse plants isn't what I want to do, but it's what I see typically. I just want to stuff it with plants, if that makes sense, which is how my plants look. So, although I hear that's not terrible. I hear it's not terrible to overly stuff. It's just taking care of them and making sure they're the right plants. But don't quote me. I just went for Mother's Day this year with a friend's place, and they taught me how to make my planter, because I clearly did not know how to make my own plants. So big thank you to them. But learning tips from that is that apparently you can stuff it. It just depends on how you stuff it and what you stuff it with, because, you know, let me not get into plant talk. I don't know a whole lot about plant talk, but currently I'm just looking for different signage just to add more items on the outside of the build, because it kind of just looked nakey, especially since it's a plumb bob shape. I just wanted to add to it so where it looked like it's an actual place you can visit. And it took me quite a few tries to figure out what we liked and what we wanted to fill these different spots. And man, I almost forgot, I'm not gonna lie, that diagonals cannot have stairs. So that took me a minute to fix, which you guys can see it's kind of like on a 2-step. I know I'm like kind of fast forwarding through the video. I eventually have to adjust it, which we do, but it took so much playtesting to figure that out. So now moving into the park, which is my honestly favorite part about this build, is this park. We got like this little signage on the corner where you can check in, figure out the lazy land, got advertisement obviously. And in my head, the park isn't owned by the restaurant, but is next to it because, you know, it's just or the fast food restaurant, I guess, either way how you want to put it. But I believe they're separate because I just feel like a fast food place wouldn't have this nice of a park. So it's like a nice park next to a fast food spot, which isn't good. I feel like, you know, you get a few parents if you have that go to this nice park being like, what the heck? My kid always wants to go to, well, I guess it'd probably be good because if Sims Donald's like McDonald's, this would be a prime spot, you know? Like, come get your Sim nuggets. Is that what it'd be? Sim nuggets, Sim nuggets, Sim McNuggets, yeah. Think of something clever in chat or in comments down below. I need some ideas, clearly. What would it be? Sim burger, McChicken, Sim chicken? Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I'm not that clever. I mean, you're literally just adding the sim like it's Mick, and I'm still struggling apparently. So as of right now, I'm just kind of throwing out different play structures that we can utilize. And what I end up doing is I section each area off with sand, and I absolutely love the look with different pathways you can walk through. And so the sand is playable. I haven't tested out which sand, so I might honestly do that pretty soon. There's a few things I want to test out in this game, and one of them is what sand can you play with? Can you play with all the sand? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Someone in my chat mentioned that we should use Island Living, and that's the ones we can play with. So I just know there's other sands in the game that the game has. I'm just not sure if they're playable. I just use the one that I like the look of, because one of them, oh my goodness, from Island Living is blinding. I don't know if it's just me and like the blinding starkness. I was just like, I need sunglasses. But I don't think you guys will be able to see that when we do it here. But like I always mention, if you guys want to join us live, you guys definitely can. I usually build every Monday, but not always. It kind of just varies. I do have my socials and whatnot down below also. If you guys want to join us, that's like the best way. Or Discord is another way to figure out our schedule because it does change here and then. But as for the few structures, I do eventually take out a few of these out. Not all of them make the cut, but I just want to see all the ones and whatnot and figure that out. Because we have from like kids areas to a toddler area, which I did enjoy making. And someone also recommended a water park, which I'm really grateful for because I feel like I need to throw in water parks into other neighborhoods if I'm gonna raise a family there, especially with the new aspirations that come with. Oh, so that's the blinding sand, and that's the less blinding sand. But they're both Island Living, if you guys got to see that really quickly. I just wanted to point that out while I had it for you guys. But yeah, I love the look. I like the idea. And I did make sure that your Sims can walk over the half wall. They just kind of walk through it. Or not the half wall. We ended up using a fence. I think someone mentioned that we need a fence. Because yeah, I was like, do we need stairs? Do we need this? Like, how do we figure this out? But there is a fence for you guys, and I believe it's base game. I have to see in a minute here that we can utilize that your Sims, they just glitch. Not glitch through it. They just go straight through it, which is kind of wonky. But yeah, that is base game. That's a base game little fence for you that your Sims, yeah, they just literally waltz through it. I just kind of find it weird because like I thought your toddlers and then would like crawl over it, like acknowledge it like a platform, I guess, but they don't. It's literally nothing. So I guess a good pro tip, if you want it to look sectioned off but you still want your Sims to be able to go through it, it's just the animation looks kind of weird to me. I mean, not that weird, at least they're not glitching or anything through it or being wonky. It's just the fact that their feet and body just go through it like it's nothing. Because yeah, I took which family? I took the Bella Goth's family, and I aged down one of her kids all the way to a toddler just to test out the toddler items. I don't know why her family, but her family ended up being the test subjects for this playfield. And I think we're coming to the end. Like I said, I really do enjoy this build. I love it. But I want to give you guys the final tour, and yeah. Okay, so here's the final look of our Sims Donald's, our Sims fast food restaurant that they can use. I'll give you guys a quick tour, like the little roundabout that we got going on of the park we got over here. We got a little walkway, and I think with the trash bin in the back here. So not a whole lot of landscaping, just a bit here and here. And then, oh yeah, here's my very impressive sign that I did. I mean, it's not that fancy, but like I said, you guys can see like the little hook back here. but it's just one sign on top of another, like one image on top of the other. But I think it looks really nice. I do love the final look of it. And we got a flag, because I feel like there's flags everywhere where I live, in front of places, especially like McDonald's. So I added that there for ourselves. But let's get on in. Let me show you guys the inside really quickly. We got like our little step up, which I did fix, like you guys can see. It took me forever to realize that was bugged. I was like, why is everybody outside? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, God. You can see that this place has been used, but not cleaned. Hello. I did not add those cups. That was kind of funny. But over here quickly is just the bathroom. Just a one bathroom with that item. Which I did ask. I did wonder. Have you guys used this item? Because I personally haven't. I haven't really. I brought my infants out and whatnot, but I haven't needed to change them on the changing table. How does it work? Like, does it work well? Or has it had any issues and whatnot? But as for the rest, you guys can see I added the little extra seating like I mentioned we got going on. Got our little menu with extra signs and somebody's salad. Oh, got a salad at a fast food restaurant. No, I'm kidding. I have done that. Judge me all you want. Wait, what is this? Hello? Why is there a teddy bear on here? Hello? I did not put that there either. Oh my lordy. But yeah, we got like our little washing spot. We got our... Whoa. I wonder how'd those bug out? Those were all on top. Weird, okay. Weird, funky stuff is happening, but apparently all of our stuff is underneath the shelves right now, so I gotta check to make sure if you guys download it, is all the cups underneath? But let's go to the park. Weird, right? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I watched the recording and it was alright. But we got like our little sign, like I mentioned, the map of the park. A couple of different seating areas. This one isn't... I don't think this one's reachable. I think it is, actually. I can't remember. I feel like I remember Mortimer on that bench, but I can't really remember. But yeah, we got like our little water park area. We got plenty places to play. You got the giant play area for you're not your infants, but your toddlers, along with the little spot. Like, I feel like somebody left their toys here and whatnot. We got somebody apparently already used the sand as to make a sandcastle, and yeah, so I think that's it for this build. Let me know what you guys think. I absolutely love it. It's like one of my favorite fun ideas that we could do. I love the park. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love the Sims Donalds, but I definitely, my favorite is the park with the park. So yeah. And yeah, that'll be it for this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're new to this village, welcome on in. I enjoyed this build. I feel like I've mentioned that multiple times during this video. I would like to know what your guys' opinions are, and if you guys have any fun ideas for what to build, because I want some more crafty ideas, and I feel like I'm definitely branching out, so I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!